When we talk about unity, sometimes people go to the extreme. I would call them ghulat, ghali in the matter of unity. Not only that they will say you should not use vulgar language, which is, yes, we agree with that point. But then they expect us to glorify those who were openly opposed to the Ahlul Bayt. And this cannot happen. In your heart there is place only for one. If you have Allah, you have Allah. You can't have a but. You can't have an idol. If you have Ali, you cannot have somebody else there with Ali. And this is where we have to be very clear about it. Yes, unity is fine, but not at the expense of expecting us to glorify those who were, opposed to the Ahlul Bayt. Sometimes this is put in a very civilized manner these days, where we are told, okay, they have done this and that, but they have some good deeds also. And it's put in a very academic form, very eloquent way. And this is what I would say, look at history. This is the problem that we have with our Sunni brothers. That you would like to, keep the two together who cannot be together. It doesn't work. You look at the example of Amr ibn Sa'd. We talked about it. It's the occasion of his, the day he was killed by the forces of Mukhtar bin Ubaidullah al-Saqafi. Umar ibn Sa'd bin Abi Waqqas was the commander-in-chief of the Yazidi forces there. But look at the historians of the Sunni world, the scholars of Hadith. Because Umar ibn Sa'd had heard a hadith of Rasulullah from his father and from some other companions of Rasulullah. So he is known as a Rawi, a narrator of hadith. In the books which deals with the narrators of hadith, it's called Ilm al-Rijal. It's a part of, Ilm al-Hadith, the science of hadith. You also study about the background and the character of the narrators. And based on their background and character, you classify the hadith that they are narrating, whether it's acceptable or not. If somebody is a liar, you wouldn't accept his hadith. So look at this example of Umar ibn Sa'd. His father was a Sahabi. He met some of the companions of Rasulullah, and so he has, narrated some hadith from Rasulullah through his father and some others. And so now he's being discussed. What do they talk about him? In one line. They say, Huwa tabi'iyun. He is not from the Sahaba, but he is from Tabi'i. Tabi'i means the disciples of the companions of Rasulullah. So they came a generation afterwards. So they say, Umar ibn Sa'd was Tabi'iyun siqa. Siqa means trustworthy person. Bharose wala aadmi hai. هو تابعي ثقة وهو الذي قتل الحسين. In the same line they are saying he is a tabi'i, disciple of the companions of the Prophet. He is trustworthy and he is the one who killed Hussein. We cannot put these two things together. Sorry with my, Sunni brothers. We don't agree with that. On the one hand, you are saying that he is the one who is responsible for killing Hussein. On the other hand, on the same sentence, you are saying he is trustworthy. Therefore, we will accept his hadith. Somebody who is a murderer of Imam Hussain alayhi salam cannot be a trustworthy person. So we cannot have this kind of a, confusion in our mind. The line should be very clear. And so, if somebody says, and this is something we have been hearing lately, somebody from the Shia community, that so-and-so made a blunder in Saqifa, and also in the matter of Fadak. But he was a generous person who helped many poor people, freed many slaves, sheltered, widows and orphans. Come on. Just because he gave donation, he's fine. He took away the right of Ali ibn Abi Talib. You don't care about it? You're putting that equal to few dollars you spend in charity? As if giving in charity, is a kafara for that great sin of taking away the right of Ali ibn Abi Talib? Or taking away the right of Fadak from Fatima to Zahra salawatullah alayha? This is where we cannot put these two things together. And this is the meaning of bara'at. You have to have a very clear understanding. Who was what. Otherwise, you will have confusion or dilution in your faith. Salawat pradhe ek baar aur. You know the name of Muhammad Tijani Samawi, the Tunisian famous scholar who came from a Sunni Sufi background, then became Shia. Here's a story, an anecdote. He says there was a person sitting by the grave of Hujr bin Adi. The friend of Ali and the companion of Rasulullah. And he was sitting on that grave and he was crying. Somebody happened to pass by and he didn't know whose grave is there. He says, why are you crying on this grave? Whose grave is this? And this person said, this is the grave of Hujr bin Adi radiyallahu anhu, who was the friend of Ali radiyallahu anhu, and he was killed bil Muawiyah radiyallahu anhu. And this, passerby said, I should actually cry on you. That in your same one breath, you are talking about the maqtul, the one who was killed, and the one who killed him. And for both you are saying, radiyallahu anhu, that may Allah be pleased with them. We don't believe in that logic, because it is not logical. So somebody who, for example, killed Imam Hussain alayhi salam, whatever good deeds that he had done, we cannot say he's okay, and he is siqah, and we'll accept, his hadith. No. We don't think in that way. And this is the complaint that we have with our Sunni, community.